everyone, Karen here from The Timeless Dog to talk to you about ways to pay your dog for a job well done. If you've watched or paid attention to any of my videos or posts, you know that I am a huge advocate for positive reinforcement training. Positive reinforcement training isn't exclusively treats. We use toys, we use praise and pets and love and all of that. But today I want to go over a few different ways to deliver the treats or the food that we do use in our positive reinforcement based training. I hope by showing you a few different ways to give the food to your dog, it will encourage you to use more positive reinforcement in your day-to-day training with your dog. So let's get started. As I'm sure you guys know, the easiest way to give your dog a treat is right from your hand. But what happens if your dog maybe likes to grab at the treats or maybe gets more hold of your hand than anything else? I like to make my hand into what I like to call a boat, but I just kind of round my fingers together, and then in the middle of that boat, I place the treats. The reason I make the boat is so the treat doesn't fall out of my hand, but this way I'm not holding the treat in my fingers for them to get a hold of. Because the size of the treat, look at how small that is. Obviously, if I'm holding it like this, chances are they're going to get my fingers. But if I create a little boat and I give it to my dog that way, the chances of them getting my fingers is pretty slim. Can it happen? Of course, but the chances are not as great as when you're holding it between your fingers. Another way to reward your dog with a treat is to simply place the treat on the ground. That way, they don't even come in contact with your fingers. So you ask for that sit. Yes. Place the treat on the ground itself. Another way to give your dog a treat without having to use your hands right near their mouth is to toss the treat to your dog. This does require a little bit of skill on your dog's part, and if your dog isn't great at catching things, this may not be the best option, but you'd ask for a sit, yes, and then toss the treat to them for payment. One final way to deliver a treat to your dog, if you don't want to do it right from your hand, is to ask them to sit, yes, and then toss the treat away. CJ caught that one, so let me show you again. Sit, yes, and then I toss the treat away and he has to move away. The reason I use and recommend this last one of tossing the treats away is it allows you to get a good indication of whether or not your dog wants to continue training. If you use this last method of tossing the treats away from your dog, so they have to move away from where you are working, and they come back to you, that means they want to keep working, they want to keep training. But if you toss that treat away and your dog goes and gets it, and then they wander off, they probably are bored or frustrated or tired, and they don't want to keep working. So it's a great way to figure out if your dog wants to keep learning or not. So those are a few different ways of being able to use treats that you don't necessarily have to have your fingers chewed off when you give the dog a treat. So to briefly recap, the first one is making a boat and putting your treat right in the middle and allowing your dog to take it from your hand. The next one is to put the treat on the ground itself. The third one is tossing the treat to your dog to catch. And then the fourth and final one is tossing that treat away from where you are working, so your dog has to move off. And if they choose to come back, you can keep working, toss another one away. I hope this helps and encourages you guys to use more positive reinforcement and really make use of those food motivators for your dog. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And as always, don't forget to tell your dog I said hi.